bad theater, bad improv, a doctor with a gun. Grab a snack and help us unpack all that and more. It's time for Ghost Files Debrief. Nice. Thank you guys for joining us. I am Ryan Bergara, and there is no Shane today because Shane is actually celebrating his anniversary. Sweet, it's very cute. But he's doing the Lord's work. He's doing ghost hunting remotely, as I've been told. This is, of course, Ghost Files Debrief, where we answer all of your burning questions about the most recent episode of Ghost Files, which was the King Opera House. So thank you for tuning into that episode. And if you are watching this on YouTube, did you like the episode? If you want to watch these debriefs live, you could come watch it on Watcher TV. Also, a little bit of housekeeping up top here. October 24th will be the next debrief that's live. And that's because the next debrief after episode 3, which is going to be coming to you guys next Friday, will be pre-recorded just because we are shooting the next season of Ghost Files. Very exciting. And the reason why there won't be another debrief after episode 4 of Ghost Files is because you're going to be getting episode 4, 5, and 6 back to back to back, because it is going to be a very special 3-part ordeal of Ghost Files alone together. But anyways, there is a poll up on Watcher TV, as always with these debriefs, to decide if you are a Bugara or a Shaniac. And just know that if you say you're a Shaniac, I still love you. But King Opera House, look guys, as I said in the episode, not every place is going to be active when we go there. This was definitely one of those places. That's not to say that I believe it is not haunted. I just believe perhaps it wasn't active. And I don't have the vision or like the Shining by any means. I'm not spirit sensitive, but I will say that there are times when I'm in a place and you get the feeling that you're being watched, and there are times when you're in a place and you are in a place. And that's what it felt like to me. But, you know, we did still catch some stuff. So we could talk about that a little bit today. But before we get into that, why don't we just go ahead and jump right on over to your guys' questions from Watcher TV.
This video is sponsored by Raycon. Raycon is turning another year older, and they're marking the occasion with 30% off their fan favorite Essential Open Earbuds.
Oh, God. Ugh, this episode is so good. Now I just need to edit it so that they only see my good side. What's all that racket? Must be a drafty window. Or an animal outside. Whatever it is, I can't let it distract me. Good thing I've got my Raycons. Ooh, yeah, look at those. Beautiful. Yeah, Raycons keep the music playing while still letting me hear what's going on around me. They're lightweight, all day comfortable, and the fit doesn't budge.
Why won't you pay attention to me?
It's probably just the floorboards creaking. Yeah, totally normal. Good thing these earbuds help me stay focused. With 8 hours of battery life plus 36 more from the case, I can listen for days. They seamlessly connect to multiple devices and deliver the same premium sound as the big brands at half the price. No reason to overpay. Grab yourself a pair of Raycon Essential Open Earbuds and thank me later.
Click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/ghostfilesopen to get 30% off.
All finished. Time to export.
Let's kick it off here. Corey says, why is Shane dressed as a Wes Anderson character? I don't know if he was dressed more so like a Wes Anderson character than usual. Like, he usually looks like that. I think his sensibilities are just particularly suited for that Wes Anderson aesthetic. In fact, I know for a fact that Shane saw Wes Anderson once at a restaurant because he took a creepy picture of him. I don't think you should do that. I don't know why I just chastised Shane on live. I just blew up his spot. But it was nice to see Wes. And he did kind of look like Shane in terms of outfit. I don't know. I hope that helps. Maybe he's dressed like that now. Let's move on to another question. Miss Robin Leadbeater. Miss Robin Leadbeater. I never understand why you use the mag light as a touch lamp when you know it can also turn on and off randomly. Wouldn't it make more sense to get a regular touch lamp which doesn't turn on and off randomly? Honestly, that's a good point. We we might do that. That's because if you don't know the science behind a mag light, if you turn it to the spot in between on and off, it basically causes like a chemical, like a mini little chemical reaction inside the actual bulb itself. I think it specifically has to be a halogen bulb, and that will cause the light to turn on and off randomly, but it also makes it extremely sensitive to touch, which basically turns it into a touch lamp. Yeah, that's probably something we could look for in the future. I'm gonna be honest and say that I was already kind of considering phasing out the mag light. I don't know if if that would upset anybody, kind of for this very reason, and instead maybe swapping in a touch lamp or just something else that would be more trigger object adjacent that they could move. That's something I'm gonna try and lean into a little bit more in the new season. And if you don't know, a trigger object is just an object that you could place in a haunted environment that has some sort of meaning to the spirits that are said to be there, that could invoke some sort of reaction or get them to interact with that item. And we have a couple of those in the upcoming episodes that we're shooting, and also a little bit in Ghost Files Alone Together, which I'm editing right now and I'm very excited for you guys to see. I cannot wait. I'm burning the midnight oil editing that bad boy, and it's gonna be a fun, weird, scary time, I hope. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Anyways, moving on to another question. Kate Jones, for debrief and Greg, what? I see. Oh, very good. Very good. Very good. It's that's the typo I left. It's very nice of you to do that, Kate. For debrief and Greg, best ghost hunting food. That varies. I will say that the most dependable food that I have before any sort of event of any kind, this could include ghost hunting, going to the movies, working out, living life. I feel very confident in what the folks at Chipotle are doing. This is not sponsored by Chipotle, and I've not been able to vet if Chipotle is responsible for some heinous crime online. But I will say that they make a damn good burrito bowl, and it doesn't make me feel extremely tired. So if I could find a Chipotle in a town, I will sometimes do that. But normally I do like to find some sort of local flavor at all these places. In fact, you're gonna see a little bit of that in Ghost Files Alone Together, of how we go about finding places to eat. And that's gonna be a fun time. I try and find a place that's highly rated, and if not, if we're in like some sort of place where, we're on a highway and it's nothing but fast food, which does happen, I will try and Postmate, Chipotle or something like that. But that would be my answer. Moving on. Oh, no, wait, actually we got some poll results here. Let's put those numbers on the screen. Damn, that is, that's unfortunate for all you Shaniacs out there. Again, appreciate that you've shown up, and especially in Shane's absence as well. I'll have to let him know. Text him right now. I'm sure he's in the middle of some sort of romantic dinner, and I'm just gonna let him know how about them poll numbers, and he won't respond to me. But thank you for all for voting, and I'm very interested now, because are we gonna have the other question up now of, is this place haunted? You guys can be voting on this throughout the episode. I got a feeling I know what these numbers are gonna be like, which is surprising because I will note, we have a majority Bugara showing today. So if we get a no on this, that's pretty damning of the King of Opera House. But let's move on to another question. God, I love the look of the set in the background here. This comes from D Swizzle. I would love to see you investigate a mundane place like a corporate office. If I were a ghost, I would absolutely haunt the place where I'd wasted half my life in the name of the capitalist machine. Thoughts? Well, I'm sorry to hear that, D Swizzle. I hope that you gained something out of it other than pain, and that maybe you learned some life lessons, or at least made a decent living while wasting your life away in service of a capitalist society. That being said, we actually are going to be investigating a place, not in this season. We're going to be shooting that later this winter. A place that I wouldn't call it mundane, but it is a place that there isn't really a reason for it to be haunted, and I think this is a good way to do that. You'll understand it when you see it. I'll point it out, but there is a place that by all means isn't really haunted, but people think it's haunted. It'll make more sense when it comes up, but that'll be a great test. For what it's worth, the owner of the house does believe this place is haunted, so we'll see. But yes, we are going to be testing that. essentially, in a way that makes sense. You'll see D-Swizzle. I hope I don't disappoint you like your job did. Let's move on to another question. This comes from Ava. How does this location compare to the escape room episode from a few seasons ago? Dare to Escape, catching a stray on the live stream. I honestly think this place was not as active as Dare to Escape. Dare to Escape had built-in trigger objects throughout, and I just think it was an overall spookier environment, which surprised me because I've always wanted to investigate an opera house or just some sort of theater, any kind of theater environment. They're inherently creepy. Like when we do Ghost Files Live, almost every stage manager or tech crew that works at the theater that we're performing at, they always mention, oh, by the way, you got to investigate this place. It's haunted. And I think it's just because theaters, when they're empty, are inherently very creepy. So I myself was very surprised to find that the King Opera House didn't have those spooky vibes like I thought they would, or like I thought it would rather. So I don't know. Again, this is not a perfect science, if you want to even call it a science. I'll say that for Shane because he's not here. Because you never know what you're going to get. I always say that haunted houses are like a living thing. They're not going to perform the way you want them to perform. Much like if you went on like a safari. A spiritual safari is what we do. And sometimes you're not going to see the lions. That's just the game that we play. But no, Dare to Escape I think was a little bit scarier. And I'm not just saying that because it was close to Disney World, but that helped. Moving on to another question. Saucy, I think Harold, but I'm gonna go Saucy Herold. Was your sense of the ghosts not being responsive due to your lack of trust in the various devices used when you'd prefer knocks and clatters heard in the moment? Or something about the atmosphere leading you to disregard similar occurrences that in other episodes you've found more compelling? Or do you feel differently about the level of haunting after having reviewed the footage and accumulated evidence after filming? For any of you guys who have been watching Evidence Room, thank you for chiming in there so that I could, talk to you guys about all the evidence that we capture on these things. You'll know that King Opera House there wasn't a lot. Pretty dry. I mean, we did get some spirit box responses, but my mind, I think, has shifted a little bit more towards, as we go on doing this crazy thing, I really am set to convince Shane that ghosts are real, and spirit box, it's just not gonna cut it. Knocks and clonks, or bonks and clonks, as I think is what Shane calls them, those at least are based out of the realm of what Shane calls pseudoscience and are at least in the real world. That is a real event that is occurring, according to him at least. Whether it's a ghost or not is up for debate, but you can't deny that there was a noise. Whereas a spirit box, I certainly put stock in it, but it's not going to convince Shane or any of the 47% of Shaniacs that are out there watching this stream right now. Note the 47%, by the way. 6 less than 53. Actually, I was at 52%, right? What's going on with that? What is the other 1%? Anyways, no, I wasn't feeling spooky vibes at this place, which could be bullshit. That's all just based on like perception. I personally was not feeling that scared at this location. And I don't know why that is. Whereas other places I've felt terrified from the moment I've walked in. It's just kind of a gut feeling and it could mean nothing. So there's that. 2, what we showed you guys in the episode is absolutely us squeezing the living shit out of the lemon. And whatever we got, we gave you, and we're never gonna like fabricate or make anything bigger than it seemed to be. And so once I saw what we got and we combed through all the footage and the audio, I was like, well, this is it for this episode. It's still an interesting place, but I hope you guys could appreciate the honest approach there. But yeah, we did get some spirit box responses, which we've gotten in other places. I just didn't feel the stuff that surrounded the spirit box responses was as strong as, say, other places where we get spirit box, then we also get cat ball moving, we get, EVPs, we get bonks and clonks, we get the creepy feelings. It was pretty spirit box heavy for this one, and unless you count the little bonk I heard when I was screaming at Charles. Let's move on to another question. Ann Bay, is that a new beanie? In the BuzzFeed reunion, you said you lost your orange one. Yes, I did. I lost my orange beanie. It was very, very sad. I don't know. I don't know where it is. I've torn my place apart for it. I even cleaned my car to see if it was there, because a lot of times when we're shooting so many things, I just keep outfits in the car. But yeah, I don't know where that beanie is. I tore everything apart. I can't find it. Yeah, I don't know. It's a very sad thing. It was my favorite beanie. I never thought it would become associated with Ghost Files. It just was worn in Ghost Files because I like my head warm in cold locations and I like the color orange. It's my favorite color. So yeah, it's gone. But you know, we got the new Ghost Files beanie, which it's still my favorite color, and all's good now. But I would like to know who has my beanie. Just for my own sake. It's not as bad as when I lost my dog when I was younger, but it still makes me sad. So if anybody has seen Hannah or my beanie, Hannah was the name of my little wiener dog from when I was a child, let me know, because I want to know. Moving on, N. Lauren Clark coming in. Ryan, what do you find scarier, the Annabelle doll or the Robert doll? Also, do you think you'll ever visit one for Ghost Files? I have been thinking about visiting Robert the doll for quite some time, and I don't normally disclose this kind of stuff. A lot of times it doesn't happen and I get excited and then it doesn't happen. But whatever, man, it's me by myself today. Who cares? Yeah, the folks over at the Robert the Doll Museum, they did reach out, and so hopefully we could figure something out. This is not me trying to pressure them to let us come, because they already want us to, but it's just a matter of if it's gonna work shooting schedule-wise. And I'm kind of on the fence if I want to do that as a normal Ghost Files episode, or if I want to do it as, I guess, like a Ghost Files 24-hour investigation, which we might do more of those depending on if you guys like this next one. We really enjoy doing them. They're different than Ghost Files. I think they're fun. We're still going to do Ghost Files. We're also going to do more 24-hour investigations if you guys like it. So I'm kind of on the fence if it would be more fun to do that as a normal Ghost Files episode, or if it would be funny if I was just locked in a room with Robert the doll for 24 hours, which could be hilarious or the most boring thing you've ever seen. So chime off in the comments. Let me know which one you like better, and then I'll take that into consideration if we end up doing it. Moving on to another question, though. Erica Ward, what's the status of the Estes method rig you're working on so that we can hear what the spirit box is saying too? I'm actually testing that today. I got the parts I needed for that, and I'm very eager to figure that out. I'm also, this is interesting, because I'm by myself right now, it just feels like I could kind of just like reach out to you guys for what you're thinking, more so in terms of like the actual making of this show. I am curious how I'm going to integrate that into the episode. I suppose if we're doing an Estes method, right, and Shane is saying things that are, or whoever's wiring in is saying responses that are very compelling and make sense with what the other person is asking. If one almost feels too good to be true, which sometimes it seemed that way, and I've actually had people in the comments be like, they're making this up, which I took as a badge of honor. I guess in those instances, I could play an instant replay of what the spirit box says so you can make the call. It's just one of those things of like, will that make things more clunky? I could figure it out, but that's something I'm workshopping. I got to test to see if the rig works first off, and if I could get it to be a little bit more portable, because right now I think I'm just going to be using my laptop. So we will see. Let's go to Hannah Warwick. What are possible reasons why a place that's haunted may not be active 24/7? Again, I think that's just simply because the ghosts are people who were alive, and there's that continues, I would suppose, in the afterlife. I'm not sure how that manifests, but I will say that, like, you're not going to want to be in the same place all the time if you have, the free will to do so. I think there's probably a distinct, very specific reason why certain places are active. And I don't think anybody has the answers to those. You could do what you can. Like, it's one of those things in life where you just try and control what you can and just let the outcome be the outcome. I could go in there with trigger objects. I could go in there with all my research vetted and, questions that are perhaps appealing to the spirits there that they may not have heard from other investigators. But after that, it really is kind of up to whatever happens in the house. And that's not even taking into consideration whether the house is an intelligent haunting or a residual haunting. And what I mean by that is some spirits are said to be more of an intelligent haunting, where they are aware of their existence, they're sentient, and they could respond to questions intelligently. And then there are residual hauntings, which are just said to be recycled energy, kind of like energy on a carousel, just moving through a loop, just stuck forever. And I believe that both kind of exist. I hope if there was one that was true, it would be the intelligent and not the residual, because that sounds awful to be stuck in a loop for the rest of your life. But yeah, the real answer is there really is no specific answer for why a place is active or not active. You just got to do what you can to get responses and let the ghost gods decide, I suppose. And they weren't smiling upon us when we went to the King Opera House. So there you go. Let's go to another question. Geologist Abby. Do the places you find evidence smell any different than the places that are quiet? Is there a definitive haunted stink? No, but there is a definitive smell to almost every location that we go to that is an old house of some sort. It's I don't even know how to describe it. It's like old wood dust and just like, you know, the air that you have in like an airplane that just feels just dead. It's that feeling, and it has a distinct smell. Every basement we go into smells dank and wet. Kind of like the worst version of the smell that you get on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland. Not to bring theme parks into this. But yeah, they all have their smells. I wouldn't say it's uniform across all, but certain archetypes of locations certainly smell the same. Like the Villisca Axe Murder House smelled a lot like the Sally House, for instance. And I don't think that has as much to do with paranormal energy as it does. That's a very old house that, you know, I can't imagine the upkeep is 5 stars there. I will say though that our first AD, when we went to the Sally House the first time, did throw up on a tree outside of the Sally House because he thought it was either bad brisket or mold or something in the house. Nobody else threw up though, and we all had the same brisket, so I don't know what TJ's talking about. But anyways, get your final votes in because we are going to be closing the poll right now of is this place haunted? I can't wait to see what that answer is. I know we're all brimming with anticipation of is the King Opera House a place that Shane and I said was not haunted? Is that place haunted? I have no idea. But we'll see. But we do have time for one more question. So let's get to that. Oh, Noah Nightingale. Good to see you again, as always. Question unrelated to Ghost Files. What are your plans for autumn/Halloween? And it's like a smiley face, right? It's like a Rick and Morty smile kind of looking thing. Anyways, what am I doing for Halloween? What am I not doing? I am going to try and get Ghost Files Alone together, nice and polished up and ready for you guys to see. I'm very excited for you to see that. That is going to be a majority of my time for the next month, as well as shooting new Ghost Files episodes. And then after that, I'm going to go crazy. I love Halloween. It's my favorite time of the year. I'm going to be going to Not Scary Farm. I'm going to be going to Halloween Horror Nights. I'm going to be going to Haunted Hayride. I might even go to Queen Mary Dark Harbor. I'm gonna be going to all these places. I'm gonna see every scary movie I can. I'm gonna carve pumpkins. I'm gonna decorate my house. It's gonna be a great time. It's the best time of the year. It's the best holiday. I stand by that. Christmas is second. And that's fine if you don't agree with me. And that does it, I'd say, for this episode of Ghost Files Debrief. Again, thank you guys for joining. This is always a lot of fun. But before we get out of here, we are gonna look at that poll. Let's see what we got. And the result is, damn right it is with 13%, no sit down 66. Who put the maybe in there? Oh man, you're killing me with the maybe. I'll take a maybe. I just don't like maybes, and that dates back to when I would use Facebook back in the day and you would make an event and someone would say maybe, and I would never know how many chips I need to buy. Like, do I need to buy 2 bags of Tostitos or do I need to buy 3 bags? I can't tell because fucking Greg put maybe, and he's bringing his girlfriend who's bringing a friend, and now that's 3 extra heads that I don't even know if I have to account for. Maybe. I digress. I didn't mean to unload all that on you guys. I apologize for that. That's something I've shoved down for a long time. Anyways, thank you guys for joining for this episode of Ghost Files Debrief. And for all you folks who are watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching the show. Thank you for supporting us over on YouTube. And I hope you guys all enjoyed the next episode of Ghost Files. We're going to be heading over to a place called Brackenfern Manor. And this episode is nutty, guys. There is a lot that happens in the episode, edited by the lovely Charlie over on our editing staff at Watcher. And she did a great job. Very funny episode, very scary episode. We get some good stuff. Shane, more scared of parts of this place than I've ever seen him be scared of any place, and I mean that. And there was stuff that happened behind the scenes that you'll see in Road Files if you're watching over on Watcher TV that we couldn't put in the episode. And you will understand why when you watch Road Files, and Emily Graham's putting that together, so I'm very excited for you guys to see that. That's it for me. Bye-bye now.
I'm gonna be honest, even you saying that, it gave me the chills again, because I've never seen Shane scared.
No, I was a bit right.
And I was like, this is a real threat here.